And in Joshua number 2, we see that Joshua sent some spies out to the land of Jericho. And these two spies found themselves at the house of Rahab. She was a harlot. It says it in the Bible that she was a harlot. And the king had heard that these two spies were in the land of Jericho. And he came looking for them. And when he came to the house of Rahab, she had told him that they had gone away, that they were gone, that she had seen them, but they had gone about their way. And the king and his men had left. And then after the king had left, Rahab went up on the roof where she had hidden the two spies, and she talked to them. And here in verse number 9 she says, "And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath." And we see here when Rahab and the people of Jericho had heard what God had done and what he had done for the children of Israel, parting the Red Sea, it said that their hearts melted, that there was no courage left in any of these people because they had seen the power of God and what God had done. And that God that did all that back in that day, he's still the God today. And he still works miracles today. And I looked up that word courage in the Webster's 1828 dictionary. And it says, the quality of men that enables them to encounter danger and difficulties with firmness and without fear. And these men had seen the power of God, and they had no bit of courage left. They couldn't face things like they could because they knew that God had more power than they had, and that he was the ruler and he had the power. And these men realized that they had no power in them, which convicted them. And when people look at your life, when they look at my life, are they convicted? Are they convicted when they see, do they see God in our lives? Or they just see us as another person in the world? See, they should look at us and they should see Jesus in our lives and should see God in our lives. Because, with someone as big as God in our hearts, how would he not stand out in our lives? You see, I don't want to be like the rest of the world. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want God to shine in my life. And that's about all I have for you today. Is there any prayer requests? Let's remember that. Anybody else? You want to ask Pastor Donnie?